Shalom, my friends. This will be a little short study on 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 10 and 11. Salu, if I'm pronouncing that right. Asked me to clarify. I have a couple of videos about 2 Thessalonians, Thessalonikim. Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is packed with a good number of points that need clarification. If you haven't studied it yet, I'll try and put some links underneath this video to those other videos I've done on 2 Thessalonians. But chapter 2, verses 10 and 11 read, "And all deceit of unrighteousness and those perishing, because they did not receive the love of the truth in order for them to be saved." And here's what's being questioned. "For this reason, Elohim sends them a working of delusion for them to believe the falsehood." A lot of English versions there say that Elohim sends them a strong delusion so that they believe a lie. If you have any versions that say a lie, cross out the word a. It's not a lie, it's the lie. What lie is being talked about? Well, you know, if you read chapter 2, I think it's quite obvious. Look at verse 9. The coming is against the working of Satan with all his power and signs and wonders of falsehood, and with all deceit of unrighteousness in those perishing, because they did not receive the love of the truth. I think verse 4 in chapter 2 really points at the falsehood or the lie, speaking of the man of lawlessness is to be revealed, the son of destruction. Verse 4, "Who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called Elohim, or that is worshipped, so that he sits as Elohim in the Mishkan of Elohim, showing himself that he is Elohim." That, I believe, is the lie. Now, verse 11 says, you know, for this reason. What reason? That people refuse to love the truth. Or that they did not receive the love of the truth. What truth? You know, this is the only truth in the world. And by that, what I mean is anything that is not in agreement with what the Word says is a lie. And there are many, many, many things, especially teachings, doctrines, that are in agreement in many ways with what the Word says, that use the truth in order to deceive. You know, I always say 90% of the truth equals no truth at all, because there are a lot of doctrines and teachings, religions, on and on and on, that they do use the truth. But they leave out 10%, or they leave out 1%, you know, whatever you want to call it. They leave out Mashiach. They leave out that the only way to the Father is through His Bane, His Son. They leave that out by saying things like, you know, we are God, or we create our own reality. We collectively, you know, are God. It's, you know what I'm talking about. Now, in this case, you have what's commonly referred to as the Antichrist, this man of lawlessness, who enters the Mishkan, the temple, which right now doesn't exist, but will be rebuilt fairly soon, I believe. And he's going to enter that and claim to be Elohim. That is the lie that's being talked about here in chapter 2 of 2 Thessalonians. That is the falsehood that's being talked about. And because people refuse to love the truth, that is the reason why Elohim causes them to be deluded, powerfully deluded, so that they don't see the truth because they didn't want it. And so he causes them to have a strong delusion to believe that the falsehood, that this lawless one is Elohim. So the Father blinds them from seeing the truth because they have spent their lives rejecting His truth. And you can see that in people who they say things like, you point out something to them that is the truth in the Word. And they say, yeah, I know, but, I see it this way. Or, I say it this way or that way. I know it says this, but I like to think of it, and they put their own twist on it as though they have the authority. They are the authority. And so they're worshiping their own understanding rather than the truth. Or, people who say that a lot of things in the Word are allegorical. There really wasn't a flood. Noah, that didn't really. Adam and Eve, and it's like, it's an allegory. That's refusing to love the truth. The Word is literal. And, if it is metaphorical, it's kind of obvious. Every writing in the world always uses metaphors. She was as cold as ice in her response to something. She wasn't as cold as ice. That's a metaphor, and it's obvious. It's obvious. And there are metaphors in the Word that they're obvious. I'm the vine, you are the branches, that's obvious. But it's also literal because, He is the vine. We are the branches. You know what I'm saying. So, in answer to your question, Salu, I think, it's pretty obvious, the Father causes people who refuse to love His truth to be blinded and to believe in the lie, the falsehood of the enemy, so that they go deeper into darkness. There's other examples in the Word that show this as well. If you look at Romans chapter 1 and what the Word has to say about homosexuality, you'll see that the Father causes them to fall into these lusts. Why? I believe that He sends them into greater darkness and greater confusion, because that's what those things lead to, in the hope that they will wake up and say, I'm worse off than I was before. This is crazy. And then they call out to Him for help. So, I hope that answers your question. Shalom, my friends.